She had learned to read silence like evidence. Every pause in the clerk's voice, every missing page in discovery, it all meant something. By the time the supplemental police report appeared, 2 years too late, she no longer flinched. She simply stared at the timestamp and understood. The system had blinked. This pro se defendant had become her own investigator. Thousands of hours spent combing through records, cross-referencing emails, tracing signatures that didn't match. What began as a defense had turned into a diagnosis, a psychological autopsy of institutional behavior. Retaliation wasn't theory anymore. It was a pattern, and it was loud and clear. The pattern was elegant in its cruelty. Evidence withheld, then quietly released. Clerks who lied in writing, officers who forgot to file. Each omission a thread, each contradiction a fingerprint. She saw it all now, the choreography of concealment. In legal psychology, they call it systematic self-protection. The moment a bureaucracy becomes sensatient enough to defend its own misconduct. But in the gray room, it was simpler. Truth had become dangerous, and she had refused to back down. They thought retaliation would silence her, but retaliation only taught her how to see. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. By the time the last piece of evidence slid across the table, the room already knew. The pattern she had uncovered, the one they insisted didn't exist, over and over, now lived in the record, undeniable and permanent. For 2 years, they told her she was mistaken, misinterpreting, overreacting, didn't know the law. But retaliation has a rhythm, and she had learned to hear it. Every withheld page, every delayed response, every clerk who couldn't locate what she had requested, it all formed a map, and she followed it. When the supplemental police report surfaced, the one they swore they didn't exist, she didn't gasp, she simply exhaled, as if the truth had finally caught up to her. The judge watched her, but she wasn't looking at her. She was looking at the system itself, the machinery that tried to grind her down, the bureaucracy that underestimated the one thing it could never control, a woman who refused to disappear. She didn't initially set out to expose anyone. She only wanted the truth. The full record, the documents she was entitled to. But the deeper she went, the more the case revealed quiet, calculated resistance. As a pro se defendant, she was supposed to break under the weight of it. Most people do. Most people surrendered long before they had reached the point she had reached. Thousands of hours spent cross-checking, reconstructing timelines, tracing the concealed trail left behind by people who assumed she would never look this closely. But she did. This is the gray room, where law and psychology collide. Where truth doesn't hide, it waits. And when you finally see the pattern sees you back.